New real estate agents, you're making the same mistakes over and over, and in many cases, it's costing you your career. Look, I get it. I was a new agent back in 2004, and I made some of the exact same mistakes that I'm going to share with you here in just a minute. Fortunately, these mistakes didn't cost me my career because with the help of a coach, we were able to quickly see and recognize that there were some things that we were doing that if we had done differently when we first got started, we wouldn't have been in the position that we were in at the time. Those crucial adjustments early on in my career, no doubt, had a huge positive impact on my ability to go out and sell hundreds of homes over my career and enjoy a six-figure income year after year after year. So today I'm going to share the three biggest mistakes that new real estate agents make when they first get started. And then when I'm done, I'm going to give you a few tips and tricks and resources and some things that you can do and implement right away so you don't make the same mistakes and that you can launch, build, and scale your profitable real estate business. Stick around. I'm Jeff Ruby. Hey, and welcome back. I'm the modern real estate agent, Jeff Ruby, and I help real estate agents launch, build, and scale profitable real estate businesses. That's right, the ones that actually make you money. Now, before I dive right into these mistakes that new agents make, it's really important to understand that what I'm about to go over is a game changer when it comes to being able to launch your business more effectively and a lot faster. See, when you can avoid these major yet very common mistakes that real estate agents make, the likelihood of you building a successful business that you're proud of goes skyrocketing through the roof. So here's the deal. If you're a new agent, you've just gotten into the business, and you've actually been in the business less than 3 years, there's an 80 to 90% chance you are not going to make it. Now, when I learned about this statistic a few years ago, I went on a mission to find out exactly why this was. I had to find out. Now, after years of teaching and coaching new real estate agents, hundreds of agents from all over the country, I've been able to pick up some patterns and some trends as to the major differences between successful agents and unsuccessful agents. And what I have to tell you, it all boils down to just a couple of very small decisions along the way, yet also very important decisions. Now, with the unsuccessful agents, what it came down to was basically three big decisions that had a huge impact on whether or not they were going to be able to make it in the business. You know, it really hurts and pains me to know that there's so many great people and great agents that if they had just known about these common mistakes ahead of time, they would have had fair warning and would have been able to avoid these mistakes right from the start. Now, with the successful agents, they just tweaked a few things. And I did go over these in another video on how to become a successful real estate agent. I'll put the link down below. So let's do this. I'm gonna get right into these common mistakes. If you are a brand new agent and you're just getting started, maybe you haven't closed a transaction yet, you're going to want to listen to this very closely. If you've been in the business for a while and maybe you've made some of these mistakes before, it's okay. Don't beat yourself up. There's time to correct. There's time to adjust. There's time to get you back on track to help you get to where you want to get in your business when you first got into the business. So don't beat yourself up over that. So biggest mistake number one is joining a traditional real estate team. Now, what does that mean? What's a traditional real estate team? Well, back in 2004, when I first got my real estate license, graduated from real estate school, and I met with a bunch of brokers, which, by the way, you are now a business owner. You are now an independent contractor. You get to choose where you hang your license. You're not an employee. You're not somebody who they're going to pick and say, you're the perfect candidate for our brokerage. They will take anybody that can fog a mirror and pay their office bill. Okay, that's just the way it works. You are in charge. So don't let anybody tell you otherwise. So on this team, I was a buyer's agent. So what that meant was I was on a 50-50 split, which meant 50% of the commission went to me, 50% went to the team. And I worked with buyers only. So the team was generating leads of buyers, and then they would send them to me and a couple of other agents. Now, The problem is that after that 50% that I was paying to the team, I still had to pay another 20% to the brokerage. So I was really making 30% on all of my deals. Now, some of you may say, hey, yeah, but I'm getting lots of leads. So as long as I close a high volume of leads, then I'll be making enough money to make a decent living. But I would challenge you to ask yourself, if you are closing that high volume of leads or even half the volume of leads yourself, wouldn't you be making at least the same amount of money, if not more? And you'd also be learning the other pieces of the business to really grow it out for as big as you want to. So after about 6 months in working with the team, I really realized that this wasn't a great fit for me. For one reason, it was, of course, these unfavorable splits. I just wasn't happy with that. I wanted to make more money, and I knew that there were some other opportunities that I could partake in that would allow me to make more money in the business. And some of those opportunities involved leaving the team. So the lack of opportunity, the lack of ability to grow, really feeling confined was really the second reason why I left the team, because I knew that I wasn't going to be able to learn all of the aspects of the business that I wanted to learn. And therefore, I felt like more of an employee than a partner. I felt like I was doing the majority of the work, but the brokerage and the team leader were making the majority of the money. So that didn't sit well with me either. The third reason that I left the team was there was a lack of training. Now, I know there's some teams out there that provide fantastic training and their agents do well. However, for the most part, that's not really the case. And now that I've been in the business almost 20 years and had the opportunity to work with so many agents and see, like I said, the ebb and flow of agents getting in and out of the business and the difference between successful and unsuccessful, I've been able to realize that the lack of training was actually a built-in component of the traditional real estate team. And here's why. Because if I am as an agent, as a buyer's agent on a team, if they train me to do everything and be the jack of all trades, and I'm really good at that, I'm probably going to leave the team because I don't see the benefit in staying on the team and paying all of that extra money when I could be going out and doing it on my own. Doesn't that make sense? So what happened in my case is that I wanted to learn more. And so I left the team and wanted to learn all about the business and take listings and work with investors and learn everything that I needed to know in order to build my own business. And here's what happened. Is now it created a competitive environment between me and the team in the same office. You see, we're in a competitive industry from brokerage to brokerage and even agent to agent within the same offices in the traditional model that I speak of. Now, you're probably wondering, what is all this traditional stuff he's talking about? There's a modern version. So when I was able to leave the team, it not only created the competition between me and the team, but also it made me feel uncomfortable in that office. So I did eventually leave that company as well. Far too often, this is a very common story. This is a routine. So you guys can avoid this mistake by making sure that you are understanding how the traditional team model works in a traditional brokerage, which brings me to biggest mistake number 2. And biggest mistake number 2 is choosing the wrong brokerage. Now, I'm not saying there's wrong brokerages out there. There are some, of course. What I'm saying is choosing the wrong brokerage for you. Does your brokerage support your goals, your dreams, your aspirations, and provide you a platform that allows you to accomplish those goals? See, when agents that are getting started in the business the same way that agents were getting started 100 years ago, there's a problem. I think we can all admit that a lot has changed in the last 100 years. But unfortunately, the traditional franchise real estate brokerage model has not. So it hasn't afforded agents any additional opportunities than what a business currently exists of in those models. And I'll get to the difference here in just a second. Look, I've been with 6 different brokerages and 9 different franchises. So I understand the brokerage models very well. The reason why I bring that up is because now that there's a new model and I've seen what this model can do for me and my business and my family and my future. Now, if I hadn't found this opportunity, I would probably still continue to be looking for that next big thing, which quite frankly, they're all mostly the same. And like I said before, I was doing all the work. So I wanted to make sure that I was aligning myself with a brokerage that was allowing me to see value in in what I was either paying to the brokerage or what I was getting back from the brokerage. And that leads me to another problem with the traditional brokerage model, and that's these franchise fees. See, I have a problem with paying a franchise fee to work at a franchise. That's almost like asking an employee at McDonald's to pay part of the franchise fee for the owner that bought that franchise. You see, when somebody buys a franchise, they're responsible for paying a monthly franchise fee to the corporate office. Whether or not an agent in their office sells a house or not, that has to go in. So having that passed down to agents, I'm just not in favor of that. And I don't think you would be either, because you have to ask yourself, where is my money going, right? Some of these companies have 5 to 7% or even more franchise fees. Some are capped and some you pay in perpetuity, meaning for every transaction you close, you're paying a franchise fee. I met with an agent just a few weeks ago, and she paid over $35,000 last year in franchise fees. And I asked her what she got for that, and she mentioned a plaque for her Platinum Award, which is great. I think that's fantastic. But for that much money? The other problem with franchise fees is as you're building your business and you're looking to scale, to get bigger, to move out of your general area, it becomes very cost prohibitive if you're paying multiple franchise fees or just additional franchise fees. As I mentioned earlier, you're now a business owner and you have to think like a business owner. You have to watch your profit and loss. You have to look at how much money you're spending in your business and on your business. So let's move away from brokerage models. You get where I'm coming from. Just have to see that there's more opportunity out there by asking a few simple questions. And that leads me to number 3. And that is not having a business plan, a business strategy, or an exit strategy. So as I mentioned before, you are now a business owner and you have to have a business plan. All successful entrepreneurs in all types of industries all have a business plan. It's really your roadmap for success. And without a business plan, you really have a recipe for disaster. You see, all great business plans include a summary of services that includes their marketing, their lead generation, their profit and loss, their budget, all of these things that go into planning a business. The second piece is your business strategy. What is your business strategy? How are you going to go about doing the things that you need to do on a consistent and persistent basis to reach the goals that you'd like to reach, whether it's a number of sales or an income goal? What is your strategy? Are you going to use traditional strategies or are you going to use modern strategies? Or are you going to use a mixture and a blend of both? And that's what we're doing with the Modern Agent. It's what we're doing with Modern Team Builders and the Modern Agent Academy to help agents just like you have all 3 pieces of their business: their launch, their scale, and their launch, their build, and their scale. We can't get things out of order, right? We need to keep things in order. And lastly, the exit strategy. You see, up until now, there has never been a true built-in exit strategy for real estate agents. What we did is we sold lots of houses over a number of years. We made good commissions. We reinvested that money in our business as well as in investment properties that cash flow every month on rentals, and it's brilliant. And that's the way it's been for so long, and there's nothing wrong with that. Well, what about some additional ways that create an exit strategy for you, such as ownership in your real estate company and a share of all the revenue that comes in? So I don't want to go too much back to brokerages, but if you're interviewing brokerages or you're with a brokerage, ask them how much ownership you get and how much of revenue you get to share. And the answer 99.9% of the time is 0. With EXP and what we're doing with the Modern Agent Academy, it's way more than that, okay? I can tell you that for right now. So as you can see, it is super important as a new real estate agent that you make really good choices along the way. Now, there's more mistakes that agents are making, but the 3 that I mentioned to you today are really, really important. And as I mentioned, this catapulted me once I realized I had made some bad decisions that they weren't at the time, right? In hindsight, they're always bad, but I learned from them. You don't need to make the same mistakes. You see, the road to success is paved with failures, as we know. A lot of us have made those mistakes along the way. We want to share those with you so you can move forward. So if you'd like more information on how you can launch, build, and scale your profitable real estate business, how you can make the right decisions with your brokerage and whether or not to join a team and what kind of team and how the modern team works, go ahead and comment below. I do respond to everybody who comments. And also, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm the Modern Real Estate Agent, Jeff Ruby. Thanks for watching this video, and until next time, see ya.